Very good morning to you. Objective Geology, multiple choice questions with answers. This is the solved question paper of Aligarh Muslim University 2020 question paper. And I hope this solved question paper is useful for various competitive exams like CSIR, NET, GATE, GSI and other competitive exams. Welcome to set 1. Coming to the first question, new water of cosmic or magmatic origin that has not been part of the hydrosphere previously is referred as A. Plutonic water, B. Connate water, C. Juvenile water, and D. None of the above. The correct option goes as C. Juvenile water. New water of magmatic or cosmic origin that has not been part of the hydrosphere previously is referred to as juvenile water. This term describes water released from the Earth's mantle through volcanic activity or arriving from space via extraterrestrial sources like comets and asteroids, effectively adding new water to the planet's existing hydrosphere. So the correct option goes as C, juvenile water. Option goes as C, juvenile water. Next question. Type of dentition present in Mytilus is A. Schizodont, B. Taxodont, C. Disodont, and D. Heterodont. The correct option goes as C. Disodont. Mytilus possesses a disodont hinge which is characterized by weak small teeth near the beaks, these are also known as umbones, and a strong ligament which is typical for marine mussels. And while some species may become edentulous or toothless at maturity, the disodont structure is defining feature of the family's hinge morphology. So type of dentition present in Mytilus is disodont. Next question. At water table, the atmospheric pressure is, the choices are A. More than pore water pressure, B. Equal to pore water pressure, C. Less than atmospheric pressure, and D. None of the above. The correct option goes as B. Equal to pore water pressure. At the water table, the pressure in the groundwater is equal to the atmospheric pressure. This is because the water table is defined as the surface where the water pressure is exactly the same as the pressure exerted by the air above it. So water below this surface is under positive pressure, while water in the unsaturated zone above is under negative or tension pressure. So at water table, the atmospheric pressure is equal to pore water pressure. B is the correct option. Next question. Which of the following parameter has the least influence on the porosity? A. Grain size, B. Sorting, C. Degree of cementation, and D. Dissolution. The parameter which has the least influence on the porosity is grain size, whereas the sorting, degree of cementation, and dissolution have the greater influence on the porosity. Next question. A saturated but poorly permeable stratum that impedes groundwater movement is called A. Aquitod, B. Aquifuse, and C. Aquiclude, and D. Aquifer. The correct option goes as A. Aquitod. A saturated but poorly permeable stratum that impedes groundwater movement is called an aquitod. Unlike an aquifer, which readily yields water, an aquitod only allows for slow seepage, though it can still store water and transmit it between adjacent aquifers. So, a saturated but poorly permeable stratum that impedes the groundwater movement is called aquitod. A is the correct option. Next question. A river that feeds water to the groundwater is termed as A. Influent, B. Effluent, C. Ephemeral, and D. Effluent. The correct option goes as A. Influent. A river that feeds water to the groundwater is termed as an influent stream or losing stream. These streams lose water to the underlying earth, recharging the water table and filling the aquifer. This process is a form of groundwater recharge where water flows from the stream channel into the surrounding soil and rock. So the river that feeds the water to the groundwater is termed as influent. A is the correct option. Next question. Which among the following does not belong to Lower Gondwana? The correct options are A. Thinfeldia, B. Glossopteris, C. Vertebraria, and D. Schizonura. The correct option goes as A. because the Glossopteris, Vertebraria and Schizoneura, they belong to lower Gondwana. So the correct option goes as the following, which does not belong to the lower Gondwana is Thinfeldia. A is the correct option. Next question. A magmatic ore deposit in which early formed valuable constituents are concentrated as a result of gravitative crystallization and differentiation is called as A. Disseminated deposit, B. Magmatic segregation deposit, and C. Residual deposit, and D. Magmatic injection deposit. The correct option goes as B. Magmatic segregation deposit. A magmatic ore deposit, which is formed by gravitative crystallization and magmatic differentiation, is called a magmatic segregation deposit or magmatic cumulate. In these deposits, early formed heavy ore minerals settle out of the cooling magma under gravity, concentrating in specific layers or lenses within the igneous rock mass. Next question. The age range of the oldest rocks in the present day ocean floor is A. 60 to 65 million years, B. 2 to 2.6 billion years, C. 180 to 200 million years, and D. 3 to 3.8 billion years. The correct option goes as 180 to 200 million years. The oldest rocks on the present day ocean floor are generally less than 200 million years old, with some fragments in the Mediterranean reaching up to 270 million years. The oceanic crust is relatively young because it is continuously created at mid-oceanic ridges and destroyed through subduction at convergent plate boundaries. It is a process that recycles older oceanic lithosphere back to the Earth's mantle. So the age range of the oldest rocks in the present day ocean floor is 180 to 200 million years. C is the correct option. Next question. Which combination of sorting and roundness of sand grains results in highest permeability? The options are A. Well sorted and poorly rounded, B. Well sorted and well rounded, C. Poorly sorted and poorly rounded, and D. Poorly sorted and poorly rounded. The correct option goes as B. Well sorted and well rounded. A well sorted and well rounded combination of sand grains leads to the highest permeability because it allows for a more uniform pore structure, resulting in larger and more connected pore spaces that facilitate greater fluid flow. So well sorted and well rounded combination of sorting and roundness of sand grains results in highest permeability. Next question. Which of the following types of bedding is characterized by reversed foreset laminae in one coset? The options are A. Tidal bedding, B. Flazer bedding, C. Herringbone bedding, and D. Planar bedding. The correct option goes as C. Herringbone bedding. Herringbone bedding refers to a type of cross stratification where the foresets or inclined layers in successive sets of beds are directed in opposite directions, creating a structure that resembles a fish skeleton and is typically found in tidal environments. So the correct option goes as C. Herringbone bedding. Next question. Which of the following conditions are favorable for folding rather than faulting? The options are A. Low temperature and low confining pressure, B. Low temperature and high confining pressure, C. High temperature and low confining pressure, D. High temperature and high confining pressure. The correct option goes as D. High temperature and high confining pressure. At high temperatures and high confining pressures, which are favorable for folding rather than faulting, and high temperature increases rock ductility, making them more likely to bend and deform without breaking, while high confining pressure inhibits fracturing. This combination of factors typical of conditions found deep within the earth and favors ductile deformation or folding over brittle deformation or faulting. So high temperature and high confining pressure conditions are favorable for folding rather than faulting. D is the correct option. Next question. The fold in which the fold axis plunges directly from the dip of the axial surface is termed as A. Upright fold, B. Reclined fold, C. Recumbent fold, and D. Isoclinal fold. The correct option goes as B. Reclined fold. A reclined fold is a fold where the fold axis plunges directly in the direction of the dip of the axial surface. This means that the fold's hinge line and its axial plane are plunging in the same direction. The fold in which the fold axis plunges directly from the dip of the axial surface is termed as reclined fold. B is the correct option. Next question. Geometrical distribution of joints dividing the rock mass into the cubical blocks is called A. Sheet jointing, B. Radial jointing, C. Columnar jointing, and D. Mural jointing. The correct option goes as D. Mural jointing. The geometrical distribution of joints that divides a rock mass into cubical blocks is indeed called as a mural joint. This type of jointing, it occurs when three sets of joints, typically two vertical and one horizontal, are mutually perpendicular and have roughly equal spacing and causing the rock to break into block-like pieces known as murals. And mural jointing is commonly observed in igneous rocks like granites. So the correct option goes as D, mural jointing. Next question. Bowed-in structures are formed under A. Compressive stress regime, B. Tensile stress regime, and C. Shearing, D. Combination of shearing and compressive stress. Bowed-in structures are formed under tensile stress regime. Bowed-in structures are typically formed under a tensile stress regime or more broadly during layer parallel extension, where a more competent or rigid layer embedded in a less competent matrix and is stretched and pulled apart, causing it to break into sausage-like segments called bowdings. While this process involves direct tension and it can also occur within shear zones or at the limbs of the folds. So bowding structures are formed under tensile stress regime. B is the correct option. Next question. Class 1C folds are those folds in which orthogonal layer thickness A at the hinge is more compared to the fold limbs, B at the hinge is less compared to the fold limbs, C is constant throughout the fold profile, and D at the hinge and limbs is not defined. The correct option goes as A at the hinge is more compared to the fold limbs. For class 1C folds, the orthogonal thickness at the hinge is greater than at the limbs, while for class 1A folds, the limbs are thicker than the hinges. So in class 1C folds, the hinge is more when compared to the fold limbs. A is the correct option. Next question. Mullin structures are formed under A. Compressive stress regime, B. Tensile stress regime, C. Shearing, and D. Combination of shearing and compressive stress. The correct option goes as A. Compressive stress regime. Mullin structures are generally formed under a compressive stress regime due to layer parallel shortening, where competent layers within a deforming rock mass are compressed, causing them to shorten and develop the characteristic fluted or cusp-shaped features of mullions. These structures often form at the interface between layers of different viscosity, with the cusp shapes pointing into the more competent rock. So Mullian structures are formed under compressive stress regime. A is the correct option. Next question. In isoclinal folds, cleavage or schistosity, A is parallel to the bedding plane, B is perpendicular to the bedding plane, and C is inclined to the bedding plane, and D, it has no relation to the bedding plane. In isoclinal folds, cleavage or schistosity is parallel to the bedding plane. It is a feature that's sometimes called bedding cleavage or bedding schistosity. This parallelism results from the extreme folding that occurs in isoclinal folds, which can lead to the development of foliation parallel to the original sedimentary layers due to pressures like mimetic recrystallization or rock flowage. So in isoclinal folds, cleavage or schistosity is parallel to the bedding plane. A is the correct option. Next question. As index fossil, brachiopods were important during A. Late Cretaceous, B. Middle Jurassic, C. Early Jurassic, and D. Late Paleozoic. The correct option goes as D. Late Paleozoic. Brachiopods were important index fossils during the late Paleozoic due to their abundance and diverse shell morphology and widespread distribution in the marine environments, which make them excellent for dating and correlating rock layers from that era. During the Paleozoic, brachiopods were particularly common, filling many ecological niches before a massive extinction event at the end of the Permian period reduced the diversity and numbers significantly. So, as index fossils, brachiopods were important during the late Paleozoic. D is the correct option. Next question. Acme zone indicates A. Range of fossil species, B. Absence of a fossil species, and D. Maximum abundance of a fossil species, and D. Migration of fossil species. Acme zone indicates the maximum abundance of fossil species. In abundance zone or ACME zone, it is a biozone that is defined by the range in which the abundance of a particular taxon is highest. So ACME zone indicates the maximum abundance of fossil species. Next is the tips to prepare for the competitive exam. In continuation for the last video, I'm making these tips for the competitive exam. So in addition to that, I'm giving. So number one, create a study plan. So what type of exam and how many reading hours are needed exactly for that exam. So for that, you have to prepare a timetable for each exam. So for that, create a study plan. It is very important. And second point, it is analyze the syllabus. How you are going to analyze the syllabus, it makes a very important. That means what are the easy chapters are there in that syllabus and what are the difficult things are there. You can make a red mark and then you can write it down all the exam difficult things so that you can plan accordingly. So this is analyzing the syllabus and is there the syllabus is objective or descriptive pattern, in what way you have to write the exam. So like that, analyzing the syllabus is very important. And the next step is you have to arrange all the study material which you have. So nowadays there are so many materials are in the available internet. People like you may confuse like what material I have to read. For that, you have to study the reference books. So in the next video, I'll make what are the good important reference books. So for this, please rely on the standard books. Referred material is there, and then textbooks. Minimum 8 to 10 textbooks are needed, and like apart from that, you had to read the NCERT syllabus and then all those other stuff is there. So first thing is arrange the study material. Don't go for the simple and vague materials. So go for the preferred reference standard textbooks. So this is very important. Next is understand the exam pattern. So what type of exam it is there and what is its pattern? Suppose if it is a descriptive or it is objective, and how much authenticity you are preparing for descriptive exam. So whether you are good at writing or that particular points, like if it is descriptive, 2 marks question or 5 marks question or 10 marks questions, like that, what is the pattern is there? And you have to understand that one and you have to make the notes accordingly. Fifth point, make your own notes. So why this plays a very crucial, because now you say that means you have lots of loads of syllabus or material are there, but your own notes make an important criteria in passing through the exam. Because if you write the notes, this we will have more memory and you can memorize more, and then you can practice this, and you will have 100% confidence that yes, I have understand this one and I have make a notes, and then you can memorize very well. In that for that case, you need a picture or image format of any topic. Suppose if you take any topic like in glaciers, or then suppose if you think meandering of rivers, or then drainage patterns, or anything in geomorphology, or texture patterns in petrology, or joints or particular strike slip faults, or in structural geology, anything. For that, what is the important thing is you have to make a picture of that. You have to take a pencil and then you have to write make the diagram of that, so that you can understand more, and then you can this picture format it will give, or image format, this will have a long-term memory. And another important is table format. Suppose if any structure of silicates or anything it is there, you have to make in the table format, so that it's easy to note it, and then you can copy, and then you can make like some number of things are there, like how you can make it in a what you can say that that format, you repeatedly you have to see that, and then you can practice that one. So picture or image and table format, it plays an important thing for the descriptive exam. So make your own notes according to that, and then seek guidance. So this is very important, because nowadays you are preparing so much, of course that's good, but how much guidance you are needed? Suppose for the any exam, you can talk to your teacher or mentor, or you can with the chit chat with the seniors or friends, and you can share your material, and you can take the guidance from them. And because Every point makes an important thing. And another important step is stay motivated. So why? Because you have to stay motivated. Someday or some days you do good, and some other days you feel very bad, or something, some functions or something, some disturbances will be there. Of course, even though you have to be stay motivated, and every time whenever you are sharing the material with your students or friends or anybody is there, you have to be motivated that yes, I am going to secure this exam within that stipulated time period. This is very important. Always you have to be motivated, and then you can make a phone call to your friends or teachers, or that yes, I'm good at this point, I'm not this, like this. You can always be stay motivated and don't desperate at any cost. And another important thing is eliminate distractions. Nowadays digital mania is there. Means every time you have to see your mobile, and everything is available in the mobile. That means either it is positive way or negative way. So number of distractions or notifications, or then social media, everything will be there. So you had to eliminate all these distractions. And the other important pointing is visualization. What is this visualization? Everybody knows that visualization means if you see and repeatedly any particular pattern or a type, and then you can become what you thoughts becomes things. So that's why your thoughts always should be motivated, and your thoughts should always be inspired, and your thought should have a good thought that yes, I'm going to crack this exam within this time period. Hook or crook, I am going to solve that, or I'm going to secure that position, or anything you can plan, whatever be. And give a specified time period for that daily. Sit in a calm place and then visualize already that you have got the exam, or you have appointed as an officer or geologist or something or so on. And this process, it makes the things very um, promptly. So this visualization. So, and another important thing is sleep well. Most of the people, they read so much, and then they will be frustrated, and yes, I have read this much, but the thing is you had to sleep well. Minimum sleep hours are very, very, very important, so that your brain will be active. And for that, minimum 6 to 8 hours sleep is very essential. So these are the tips overall. Just I will repeat. First is to create a study plan, and second is you have to analyze the syllabus, and third is arrange all the study material, keep in files at one place for any one particular exam, and then understand the exam pattern, what type of syllabus is there, how many marks, and then what type of whether it is a what you can say that objective or descriptive, and make your own notes. That means take a book always with you, carry notes, and a book with always carry a notes. And that notes, it should contain any picture or image or any table format which are difficult to remember, so that if you write and practice every day, that will become very easy. And another important thing is seek guidance from your teacher or professors or mentors or seniors or friends, whoever maybe website, or give it will give some complete guidance. And another important thing is stay motivated, always be motivated, stay inspired, and to discuss and have good groups, join in good groups, so that you will be connected. And eliminate distractions. What is eliminate distractions? Because the digital distractions will be there, and then mental distractions will also be there. Something, sometimes you may read more, and then you feel that, oh, I may forget, or something like that. You will have that desperate feeling. So eliminate all these distractions and have a clear goal, and then have visualization. Everyday practice thrice or number of times as convenient to you. So this visualization is a very, 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 very crucial step, which is for any competitive exam preparation. And last thing is sleep well. So don't stress too much, have a minimum stress. And then for that, you had to make your brain sharp, so that you can remember more, so that you had to sleep well. So these are the 10 tips what I have given, and see you in the next video. These are some of the suggested books. Hope you can take a photocopy or screenshot. Thank you for your time. See you in the next video.